as Islam Makhachev stands on the verge of history, poised to challenge Jack Della Maddalena for the welterweight title at UFC 322. It appears Joe Rogan's assessment from over a year ago was remarkably prescient. The longtime UFC commentator accurately forecasted that Makhachev's transition to 170 pounds would be not just feasible, but potentially dominant. A prediction now coming to fruition as the Dagestani star prepares for his championship bid this Saturday at Madison Square Garden. During a 2024 episode of his podcast featuring former champion Belal Muhammad, Rogan received first-hand insight into Makhachev's physical attributes that convinced him the move up in weight was not only possible, but advantageous. "That's what I hear," Rogan acknowledged when Muhammad described Makhachev's strength as comparable to a 250-pound fighter. Recognizing the extreme weight cut Makhachev endured to make lightweight, Rogan observed, "He's losing roughly 30 pounds to make 55? He's big. That is about as big as you can get and keep doing that." The podcast host's conclusion was unequivocal. "Easily," he declared regarding Makhachev's potential success at welterweight. But Rogan identified more than just physical advantages. He highlighted the evolution of Makhachev's game that would make him dangerous regardless of weight class. He's got real power now on his feet, which is a new addition over the last X amount of years. His stand-up has gotten elite. He's the most complete fighter on the roster. This assessment is proven prophetic, as Makhachev's camp has consistently reported his seamless adjustment to the welterweight limit, with both mentor Khabib Nurmagomedov and coach Javier Mendez noting his increased power and maintained speed during training. The physical transformation has been visibly striking, with Makhachev showcasing a more muscular frame while apparently retaining the athleticism that made him a pound-for-pound great at lightweight. Rogan will have the opportunity to witness his prediction play out firsthand as he returns to the commentary booth for UFC 322 alongside John Anik and Daniel Cormier. His presence adds another layer of significance to the event, given his early recognition of Makhachev's welterweight potential. The stage is now set for Makhachev to attempt what his legendary mentor never did, capturing a second UFC championship in a different weight class. A victory would not only validate Rogan's foresight, but cement Makhachev's legacy as one of the sport's true greats, accomplishing a feat that even the undefeated Khabib Nurmagomedov didn't pursue during his own dominant reign. As Sean O'Malley and his team prepare for a targeted January return to the octagon, the bantamweight star finds himself at the center of multiple compelling matchup discussions, including a newly proposed city boy versus country boy showdown from an unlikely challenger. O'Malley's coach, Tim Welch, revealed on the Ariel Helwani show that they're already preparing for a potential early 2026 comeback. "Hopefully in January." In January, Welch stated. "We're kind of keeping him ready. Just got done sparring right now, so we're starting to get his body ready to go for a battle." When discussing potential opponents, Welch highlighted two particularly intriguing options. He expressed strong interest in a bout with Song Yadong, calling it an exciting fight that makes sense in the title picture landscape. More surprisingly, Welch pointed to Ayman Zahabi, brother of famed coach Firas Zahabi, as another compelling challenge, noting Zahabi's impressive resume that includes victories over Pedro Munhoz, Jose Aldo, and Marlon Chito Vera. "I think that's another exciting fight that we could look really good in," Welch added, suggesting they see stylistic advantages in that matchup. Meanwhile, former featherweight contender Bryce Mitchell has thrown his hat into the ring with a characteristically unique call-out framed as city boy versus country boy. Following his successful bantamweight debut victory over Saeed Nurmagomedov, Mitchell described a potential O'Malley matchup as the biggest fight and his biggest potential opponent, though he acknowledged his newcomer status in the division might delay such a high-profile booking. Mitchell's call-out adds an intriguing new dimension to the bantamweight landscape. Known for his unapologetically rural persona and formidable grappling skills, Thug Nasty represents a stark stylistic and personality contrast to O'Malley's flashy striking and urban aesthetic. This clash of styles and backgrounds would undoubtedly capture the imagination of fight fans, even if Mitchell recognizes he may need another victory or two to truly earn the opportunity. For O'Malley, these developments highlight both his marketability and the difficult decisions facing his career trajectory. Does he pursue the established contenders like Song Yadong that his coach prefers, entertain an unconventional but compelling matchup against Mitchell, or await the outcome of the division's title picture? With training already underway for a January return, The bantamweight division's future is taking shape, with Sugar Sean once again at the center of the conversation.
The welterweight clash between Leon Edwards and Carlos Prates at UFC 322 has escalated beyond a simple rankings battle into a heated war of words, with the former champion firing back after Prates questioned his heart and declared him past his prime. Entering Saturday's pivotal matchup at Madison Square Garden as the betting underdog, an unfamiliar position for the former title holder, Edwards finds himself responding to pointed criticism from the surging Brazilian contender. At UFC 322 Media Day, Prates delivered a scathing assessment of Edwards' resilience, stating, "He's done. We cannot teach heart. If you already give up one time, you're gonna give up always." Prates elaborated with a psychological critique of Edwards' fighting spirit. Leon is the kind of fighter that when things start to get hard, when he sees it's going to be a hard night, he starts to give up. He don't do too many things to try and change the game and forgets about the win, just try to survive during the fight. The former champion responded with characteristic composure but clear conviction during his own media appearance. Rather than engaging in personal attacks, Edwards focused on technical analysis and self-belief. "He's all right. I think skills for skills, I'm the better fighter, the better athlete," Edwards stated, dismissing Prates' assessment of his capabilities. Then, Edwards provided a tactical breakdown that questioned the quality of Prates' recent competition. Referencing the Brazilian loss to Ion Machado Gari in his first major step up in competition, Edwards noted, "The first time he moved up was Ion, and Ion beat him." He was equally critical of Prates' spectacular spinning back elbow knockout of Jeff Neal in his last outing, suggesting the victory revealed more about Neal's defensive flaws than Prates' superiority. His last fight, I don't know what Jeff Neal was doing. He was walking high guard, flat-footed, walking in just like that. It was there to be. He was still having success. The former champion concluded with a confident prediction that sets high stakes for Saturday's encounter. "I think he's in for a rude awakening Saturday night." For Edwards, this fight represents far more than just another entry in the win column. A victory would silence critics who have questioned his standing since back-to-back losses to Bilal Muhammad and Sean Brady, potentially positioning him for another run at the welterweight title he once held. For Prates, it's an opportunity to prove that his highlight reel knockout of Neal was no fluke and that he truly belongs among the division's elite. The contrasting narratives, Edwards' experience and technical prowess against Prates' explosive power and confidence, create a compelling backdrop for what promises to be one of UFC 322's most intriguing battles, with both fighters understanding that the outcome could dramatically alter their trajectories in the stacked welterweight division.
The UFC's roster overhaul continues unabated as the promotion prepares for its landmark transition to Paramount Plus in 2026, with 3 more fighters receiving their release papers, while one standout welterweight earned a renewed contract in the latest wave of cuts. According to the tracking account UFC Roster Watch, veterans Kurt Holobaugh, Chris Barnett, and Kiefer Crosby have been removed from the roster, while Gabriel Bonfim, who delivered a spectacular knockout victory in the UFC Vegas 111 main event, has been officially re-signed. The most notable departure is Kurt Holobaugh, a tough Season 31 winner who ultimately couldn't maintain consistency in the ultra-competitive lightweight division. Despite showing promise with his tournament victory, the Hurt struggled against top-tier competition, losing 3 of his last 5 bouts after previously being released following a 3-fight skid. His exit marks the end of a roller coaster UFC tenure that demonstrated the difficulty of maintaining roster stability in the promotion's deep weight classes. Fan favorite Chris Barnett also saw his UFC chapter close after a disappointing performance at UFC 321. While many expected Beast Boy might survive after his opponent Hamdi Abdelwahab was released following their lackluster bout, Barnett's fate was sealed by a combination of factors, including 4 straight canceled fights
and consecutive losses that undermined his marketability despite his charismatic presence. The most emotional departure belongs to Conor McGregor's SBG Ireland teammate, Kiefer Crosby, who posted a heartfelt reflection on Instagram after going 0-3 in his UFC stint. "Today, I have been officially released from the UFC. From a young boy who loved martial arts and fighting with a dream of making it to the big stage to conquering goals most deemed impossible. Zero regrets on this hectic journey." Despite his disappointing results, Crosby maintained perspective, acknowledging, "I'm very proud of myself for everything I've achieved and also gutted it didn't go well, but that's life and that's world-class sport." The lone positive news came for Gabriel Bonfim, who secured his UFC future with a devastating knockout of Randy Brown. The Brazilian welterweight's impressive performance earned him a new contract and likely positions him for a step up in competition against a ranked opponent. These roster moves reflect Dana White's ongoing strategy to refresh the promotion's talent pool ahead of the lucrative Paramount Plus era, prioritizing active, exciting fighters who can deliver consistent performances on the new platform. As the UFC continues to trim underperforming veterans while developing new stars, the message remains clear. In today's competitive landscape, past accomplishments provide limited security without present-day results.
In a stunning and unexpected challenge, UFC light heavyweight champion Alex Pereira has responded to Khamzat Chimaev's ongoing callouts by proposing a high-stakes grappling match under the UFC's burgeoning Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu banner, with the added condition that he would donate his entire purse to charity. The development came through a playful yet pointed skit filmed by Pereira and his coach, former champion Glover Teixeira, who set clear conditions for any potential confrontation with the middleweight king. First of all, he needs to get there, Glover stated, immediately establishing their preference for a legacy-defining fight with Jon Jones. "We need Jon Jones, we want Jon Jones, a bigger name." But Teixeira didn't completely close the door on Chimaev, adding a tantalizing proposition. But Chimaev fights that guy there. "If he fights that guy, I'll bet my house on it." Pereira then escalated the challenge in a characteristically bold manner, opting not to propose a traditional MMA bout, but instead inviting Chimaev into his world of pure grappling. "That guy says he wants to fight with me, he's got to get out there, understand? He's far, but I could challenge fight in his area if he wants. Let me look at you directly. Let's fight in your area. Let's fight in grappling." The two-division UFC champion then revealed his masterstroke, tying the challenge directly to the promotion's recent expansion into professional jiu-jitsu. And another thing, we can fight in the UFC. UFC is doing BJJ, right? UFC BJJ. Let's do that then. Let's make it happen. Pereira capped his proposal with a remarkable philanthropic gesture, announcing that he would donate his entire earnings from the match to charity. "Another thing," Pereira continued, "I don't even know how much I'll make. Good money, though. You know who I am. The money is good. That money will be donated 100% to charity. That work for you, Chama?" This challenge represents a brilliant strategic move from Pereira and his team. By proposing a grappling match, Chimaev's undeniable strength, Pereira completely flips the narrative, demonstrating supreme confidence while avoiding the traditional striker versus grappler dynamic that would define an MMA bout. The charity component adds a layer of moral high ground, making it difficult for Chimaev to refuse without appearing unwilling to support a good cause. Chimaev has since responded on social media, though his full reaction remains to be seen. The ball is now in the middleweight champion's court, facing a proposition that would test his grappling against one of the sport's most feared strikers in a pure ground contest, all while benefiting charitable causes. Whether this unique challenge comes to fruition or not, Pereira has successfully shifted the rivalry into unexpected territory, proving once again why he remains one of the most compelling personalities in combat sports. Bo Nickal is approaching his first professional loss with the same analytical mindset that made him a wrestling champion, choosing to extract value from criticism rather than retreat from it as he prepares for his UFC 322 comeback against Rodolfo Vieira. The highly touted prospect, who suffered a stunning body shot knockout against Reinier de Ridder in May, addressed the wave of criticism that followed his first MMA defeat during UFC 322 Media Day. Rather than becoming defensive, Nickal demonstrated remarkable perspective in processing the feedback. I think anytime there's criticism, you can take it personally and let it be a hit to your ego, or you can look at it and analyze it and try to be unbiased, Nickal stated. I feel like a lot of the stuff, there's some truth to it. You can maybe look at it that way or perceive it that way, and maybe there is a little truth there, but I feel like it's really lacking the whole picture. This measured response reflects Nickal's maturity in navigating the transition from hyped prospect to rebuilding contender. Interestingly, he revealed that the loss actually generated more support than his previous victories, countering the narrative that fans had abandoned him after his first setback. I actually got way more love and support after my last loss than I did even my wins previous, Nickal revealed. It was something I was surprised with. I figured everybody would kind of jump ship and let me be. The amount of support and love that I had probably 50% more text messages and people saying things like, "Keep your head up and you'll be back," and stuff like that. The three-time NCAA wrestling champion described his training camp adjustments as primarily mental rather than technical. I think that for me, it felt like a lot of changes because I really just changed a lot of stuff mentally and had a lot of focus and intensity and motivation with my training. He's embraced the learning opportunity, stating, "I think the loss has been something that's been really good for me, something that I'm grateful for." In a moment of self-deprecating humor, Nickal acknowledged his previous confidence had been tempered by reality, particularly regarding his placement on the UFC 322 card. He made a pretty arrogant comment in an interview that of course I would be on the main card. A lot of people have given me a lot of flack for that. Your guys' wishes were fulfilled. I'll be headlining the prelims. Congratulations, everybody. This blend of humility and determination suggests Nickal has used his first professional setback as fuel for growth rather than allowing it to define him. As he prepares to face grappling specialist Vieira in what promises to be a compelling stylistic clash, Nickal appears to have emerged from his first loss with greater perspective and purpose, understanding that in the forgiving world of MMA, how a fighter responds to adversity often reveals more than how they handle success.
For veteran lightweight contender Beneil Dariush, this weekend's bout at UFC 322 represents the fulfillment of a long-held career goal while serving as a critical step in his journey back to the division's upper echelon. As he prepares to face the dangerous Benoit Saint-Denis at Madison Square Garden, Dariush finds himself balancing appreciation for the iconic venue with clear-eyed assessment of what this fight means for his championship aspirations. "It's cool," Dariush said on Just Scrap Radio about fighting at MSG, though his understated tone belied the significance of the moment. "Not everyone gets to say they fought at MSG. It's nice to be part of it. It's a really cool opportunity. As far as venues, I'm not sure there is a higher level than MSG." While the setting meets his expectations, the matchup itself doesn't quite align with Dariush's competitive ambitions. The 9th-ranked lightweight openly acknowledged he had hoped for an opponent higher in the rankings than the 13th-ranked Saint-Denis, revealing how the bout came together through process of elimination. "I was thinking I was going to get someone ranked higher," Dariush admitted. "It's how the stories go. No one was available or no one wanted to fight me, so I ended up with him." Despite the ranking discrepancy, Dariush recognizes Saint-Denis as a legitimate threat while maintaining confidence in his own well-rounded skill set. "He's really well-rounded, but I think I am more experienced. I'm just as good in grappling, if not better. I'm just as good striking, if not better. Overall, I think I have the upper hand in pretty much everything. I don't see where he has an advantage over me, but that is the point of fighting. We have to prove what we say. I'm looking forward to going in there and proving all over again what I'm capable of." The veteran contender anticipates an entertaining clash that will showcase the technical depth of both fighters, even if it may not deliver the back-and-forth brawl that typically earns Fight of the Night honors. I think it's going to be a really good fight until it's over, Dariush predicted. It's going to be exciting, and that is what the fans want. That is all I can promise is I'm going to go out and fight to my best. If you are a fan of technical fighting, there are going to be a lot of techniques in there. Looking beyond Saturday night, Dariush has clear expectations for what a victory should accomplish in the crowded lightweight landscape. A win gets me an opportunity to fight someone in the top 7, top 6, that would be ideal, he stated, outlining a path that would position him just 1 or 2 victories away from title contention in the sport's most competitive division. For Dariush, UFC 322 represents both a career milestone and a strategic necessity, an opportunity to showcase his skills on one of MMA's biggest stages while taking the necessary step toward the high-stakes matchups that could ultimately earn him another shot at the championship that has eluded him throughout his accomplished career.